Hello everybody. Today in this screencast I'm going to show you guys how to read in a value using the scanner class. So we know how to print stuff to the screen using system.out.print. Now what we're going to be able to do is read in values from the system or from the user and save that input into our program. So I'm going to create a class. I'm going to call it reading prac. I'm going to include main. And delete these comments. Okay, the scanner class is basically a reading tool. We can read from the system, we can read from a file. In this screencast, I'm only going to show you how to read from the system. But later on, maybe I'll show you guys how to read from a file and then hopefully write to a file. But for now, we're just going to read in from the system. And that usually means that the user who interacts with our program is going to be entering in information. So the syntax for creating a new scanner object is scanner. I'm going to call my scanner eyes, and I'll let you know in just a moment. Equals new scanner, and then inside parentheses system.in. Okay, this just means I'm going to create a scanner object named eyes. So the name of the variable is eyes, and I'm creating this is syntax for creating that new object, and system.in just tells the scanner that we're going to expect the input to come in from the system. In this case, it means the keyboard. Okay, it's complaining because I haven't imported the package, so Eclipse is nice. We can just double click that and it'll import the util package. Inside the util package is a scanner. If I just type in star after the util, it'll include all of the sub packages within util. Okay, so that'll stop it from complaining as well. Okay, so now I have my scanner named eyes. The reason I called it eyes is so that you understand how scanner works. Scanner is basically a class, an object that works just like our eyeballs. Okay, so our eyes, using our eyes, we can read the newspaper. Using those same two eyes, we can read the computer screen. We can watch a movie. We can look out the window, right? We can look at our eyelids when we go to sleep, right? So with our eyes, we can look at multiple different things. So I don't have to have, for example, a different set of eyes for reading the newspaper and a different pair of eyeballs for the TV and a different pair of eyeballs for, my computer screen. I just need one pair of eyeballs and I can read everything with it. Similarly, I only need one scanner to read in, a whole bunch of things. So let's say I wanted to read in an int, a number. An integer, so any positive, negative number. And that usually is associated with something like age. People don't usually say they're 15.6 years old. You just say 15 until they're 16, and they say they're 16. So I'm going to create an int called age, and then I'm going to ask the user, oops, I got to my cout mode. I'm going to say syso and print, hey, how old are you? Okay, so I'm asking the user, hey, how old are you? And then what I want to do is I want to make age equals, here I'm using the assignment operator equals, I'm saying, hey, make age equals the scanner eyes dot nextInt. Because eyes is a class, it has many methods. I'm only going to go over a few of them, but the one that reads in an integer is nextInt. Okay, so what this does is when the program reaches this line, it waits for the user to enter in a value. That value is expected to be an integer, and then it's saved into age. Okay, so let's well then after I have age, I want to show you that I can actually print. So you are, and then I could say age years old. So what this is going to do is going to print, so you are, it's going to concatenate, stick to it, age, whatever they entered, and then years old. So when I go ahead and run this, watch what happens. It says, hey, how old are you? And notice how the cursor is blinking. It's waiting for the user. So right now I'm the user. It's waiting for the user to enter in their age. So I'm going to enter in my age, 27. I'm going to press enter. It says, so you are 27 years old. Okay? So therefore, I use a scanner to read in the value, and then I use system.print to print it to the screen. Okay? So that's using nextInt. If I wanted to read in a double, which is any decimal value. Like, let's make a double called money, and I'm gonna system.print how much money you got, and then I'm going to read in how much money. So I'm gonna say money equals, and I'm gonna say the name of my scanner, eyes dot next double. Okay, and then I can print gimme, and I'll put the $sign in front of it just to make it look cool, and then money. So when I run this program, how old are you? I'm 27. Boom. So you're 27 years old. How much money you got? Let's see. I have $24.35. Give me $24.35. So you can see we can actually manipulate these and use this variable. So I can you know, use money, the money variable however I want. I can add to it. I can subtract from it, multiply, divide. I can do anything mathematical with it because it is a double value. Okay. So notice how I didn't need two different scanners to read in the int and the double. I have the same scanner, eyes, and eyes is reading in age, which is an int, and money, which is a double. Okay. The next thing I'll show you is how to read in a string, which is probably what most people want to know. So let's say I want to ask the user, what's your name? Okay, that's probably a very common question. So I'm going to create a string called first name, and I'm going to make it equal to eyes dot next. So eyes dot next just reads in one token, which is any group of characters separated by a space. Let me comment out all of this just so you know, just so we can focus on that one part. So check this out. If I print right now, hi, and then plus F, first name. So when I run this program, it's going to print, let's run it and show you. It's going to print what's your name, and it's waiting for me to enter in my name. If I enter in the following, Mr. Space Hagag, what's going to happen is eyes.next only reads in the first token, which is basically any group of characters separated by a space. So in this input, Mr. Space Hagag, I have two tokens. So eyes.next is going to read only one token. It's sort of like when you're reading a book, you're reading word by word. You're reading token by token. So when I press enter, it's going to say, hi, Mr. Okay? So next reads in one token. Next line, so if I change this to next line, reads in an entire string until it hits the new line. So when I run this program, and it says, what's your name? And I say, Mr. Hagag, and I press enter, Mr. Hagag is the entire string that it reads in, and it saves it into first name. Okay, and then when I print it, it prints, hi, Mr. Hagag. Okay, so quick review of what we just covered. Let me uncomment all of this to show you what happens when I run it. So it says, what is your name? And it's going to read in a whole line. So I'm going to say, Mr. Hagag. It's going to say, hi, Mr. Hagag. Hey, how old are you? And then it uses nextInt to read in an int, 27. How much money you got? So it uses next double to wait for the input for double. So I say I got $13.45. Give me $13.45, and the program ends. So as you can see, you can actually use user input in your program using scanner. It makes it a little bit more interesting than just, you know, printing whatever you, the programmer, wants. Now your printing is dependent on whatever the user enters. So now the program is a little bit more interactive, and as you'll see in future screencasts, we can make our program make, you know, choices or decide based on, you know, make certain decisions based on what the user enters. Alrighty. Hope you enjoyed that. Goodbye.